Django.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He rescued her in Django.
They make a good couple on screen.
All right.
Are we recording? Yeah, looking sad.
All right.
Finn, why you sad?
You didn't say that?
Yes,
Kevin.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, you recording?
Yes. I've been recording this whole time.
All right, we gotta do our intro.
What is
it? We don't have one.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we
She
did.
just said resolutions.
No, she said our intro.
Oh,
This is the Three Sisters show.
that's not exciting. Jesus Christ, girl. We
This is
hope
the
y'all
Three
be
Sisters
looking.
Vlog+Dad.
Okay, you got everybody?
Yes.
You can pick us all up?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to talk about resolutions, New Year's
Somebody help
resolutions.
her.
If you believe in them
Or no.
or not. And if you do, why? And if you don't, why not? And is it effective if you do? What should be, like that?
Yeah, what he said.
So we're going to let Aisha go first because, Aisha has a very important engagement afterwards. So we want her to be able to go and get her
Where you
pedicure.
going?
Together.
Oh. That is, listen, that's an
Where
important
you going?
engagement.
It is.
Oh. She said they do good pairs, so I'm gonna try them for that.
They do. They really do.
Okay.
Do I agree with them? I don't necessarily look at resolutions as, I guess, what people use them for. I see it as more like goal setting, just like it could be a part of your 5-year plan, your 2-year plan, whatever it is or whatever, and you may just be moving into the next phase of whatever your goals are. I still like to create like what I may want to accomplish for the year. Something in my eye. So I don't disagree with the concept of just what people may want to work on, because I think goal setting is
Important.
yes. And I'm not gonna knock nobody for wanting to sit down and at least take the time to think about what they want to do. Now, if it's just done out of I don't want to say repetition, but kind of out of tradition, or I'm just gonna do this, throw something together. I think that it should be intentional. Whatever that you're doing should be intentional. We always talk about the phrase "New Year, New Me," or there's just this awesome thing not at the beginning of the year that's gonna happen. But if you're not intentional with creating your goals, and you're not intentional about creating an action plan to go along with those goals, then it kind of doesn't matter. So that's my opinion.
That's true. Resolutions. Do y'all remember that? Stick to the
Yes.
No, I was just about to say. Do y'all remember that song by Dietrich Haddon and Restoration?
No.
Y'all don't remember that? Anyway, because I was about to sing resolutions like that.
No.
Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, was it Dietrich Haddon? It might not even be him.
Yes.
Anyway. She's such a hater. Anyway, so resolutions, I used to be big on them. It's a new year, believe it, DVD. Let me set these resolutions. But as I grew in my thinking, I definitely don't do it like that. Part of it is because I feel with resolutions for me, it was putting this time stamp or time whatever on things okay, this year I have to do X, Y, and Z. And not really completing what I said I was gonna do the previous year. So I feel I would change a lot. In terms of what my goals were, I wasn't really committed to completing anything. It was, for me, it was just it's a new year, I'm about to do. Sorry, we laughing at these kids. It's a new year, I gotta do something new. But now because I don't view it like that, and I do feel time that's a whole nother conversation. I just set goals, and I'm okay, this is what I would like to do. And to Aisha's point about having an action plan, I'm more intentional about what goals I'm setting. So I'm not somebody who is, like I said, like, oh, you know, pro New Year resolution, because I feel like too, another thing I saw people posting was like, if you grew up in a black family when your mom or your grandma told you your house had to be clean, you know, all your clothes needed to be washed, you need to make a pot of black eyed peas, it was like a to-do list, you know what I'm saying, to go into the new year or to start your resolutions or whatever, and I'm just not for that. Like, I'm not about to stress myself out by trying to create like these false whatevers.
Okay. Jay?
So I kind of like what they both said, because people just, a lot of times people just say stuff just to say it, or they write stuff just to write it. For me personally, we normally do vision boards, but we didn't get a chance to do that this year.
Last year.
Or this, whatever. Anyway, we didn't get a chance to do it yet. But my thing for this year was...
That's another thing, though. You don't have to do vision boards at the beginning of the year. Sorry, go ahead. We doing them in the spring. 3 sisters. We doing meditation and vision board event. Check us out in April. Okay, never mind.
Anyway, so like for me for this year, I know I needed to work on certain things, like as far as my parenting skills and just like my attitude. So that's
hallelujah. Sorry.
So those are my goals for the year, and just ongoing is to just continuously work on parenting and my parenting skills and my attitude, because I can be kind of a Debbie Downer with myself, and that's not healthy. So those are my goals, not necessarily resolutions, because I feel like those are ongoing things. Like, you can always grow as a parent, you can always grow as a person. So those are like my ongoing goals. And like they said, like a lot of times people would just be like, oh, it's just something to do. You know, it's not necessarily them trying to better themselves or anything like that. And I think that when you are trying to better yourself, like, it doesn't have to be New Year's. You can do it starting whenever. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
Well, after sitting here and listening to you young ladies express yourselves about
It's so
what it is that I think resolutions should be, well, I feel that...
Come on!
Right. Weirdo.
Why does Papa laugh like that?
It's resolutions. It's not so much that you can't make a resolution or that a resolution, can't be kept. I think it's the execution of the resolution.
Come on, somebody.
Makes you...
That sounds like a sermon. The execution of the resolution. It's not about prostitution.
You so dumb.
Your mama ain't like that.
But it's about the execution. That's what's important. Make the resolution. That's okay, but it has to be executed. Because if you without the execution, then nothing takes place. So you can have all the goals that you want. Some people say, to create a new habit, it takes 21 days to create a new habit. But actually, a new habit is created when you decide to do it right then that day. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take 21 days, and then it ends when you stop doing it. So, if you want to say, I'm going to begin to do this, then you just begin it right then and there. But we know traditionally it has come like, the end of the year, and so much has happened this year, and the next year I'm just going to do away with this and do away with that and cut people off and do this, did it, boom, 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 boom. But then, if you don't execute any of those things, then it doesn't really matter. The resolution just dissolves.
Or a lot of people will be like, it's the second day of the New Year, forget this. Right?
Right.
I'm screwed up already. I can try again next year.
Right.
I'm changing my diet right after this.
Right.
You know, so yeah, but I mean, resolutions can be good. Resolutions can be a good thing, you know. But like I say, you know, on top of that, the most important thing is the execution. You know, of whatever it is that you want to do, whether you call them goals or you know whether you call them resolutions or whatever it is. You know, 5-year plan, whatever it is. But you generally, you know, your resolution is I'm gonna do something this year different than I did last year. You know, and so you try to. Hopefully, that resolution is something that you're gonna improve on something.
Where you grow.
You know, right, where you continually grow from where you were. You know, in the previous year.
And not getting discouraged when, you know, you may miss out on reaching a certain goal. Or giving up, like starting over. Well, you know, like, whatever. Like I said, like, oh, well, this didn't work out. I'll just try again next year. Like, you ain't got to wait till next year to try it. Just try again the next day.
The next day. Yeah, right.
What is it? How did Mama say crank it up?
I'm going to crank it up.
Right. You got to crank it up.
Yeah, you got to crank it up, you know, so. I don't know, is there anything else that y'all want to add to that?
No, I just think that's true. Like, you have to.
We make them all the time, but it's a matter of keeping them, you know.
11 minutes?
Okay, this is just a short, just short pop in, pop out. Hope y'all, those who did make resolutions, I hope that you stick to them.
And you do it for the right reasons.
And you do it for the right reasons. And remember that it's execution, execution, execution.
And no prostitution. Girl!
Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back next week.
In 2 weeks.
Turn it off.
I created your schedule. I edit the videos. I get to make the schedule.